Hey everyone, how's it going today? It is the day after Easter, so happy Easter everyone. I hope you had a great time with your families. It's Coach K back here, and today we're doing a live feed, so do get inside the chat box on YouTube here and type in some messages as you guys please. There'll be lots of questions maybe about some of the stuff I'm talking about today, a little bit of some technical analysis, some big news that's been around, and a little bit of from Tom Lee to start. So while we're getting started, do click on smash on those like buttons, click the subscribe button, and if you want to follow me, just go into the notes in the chat in the description of the video, and you can find the Athena Trading Group, the Athena Trading Bot. You can find where I post all my posts on YouTube, Twitter, etc. Right there. Of course, on YouTube, you're gonna see me here anyways. So getting started, this is what we've seen with Tom Lee from Fundstrat. So he's trying to think that, you know, and this is really just a thought because it doesn't really, in my opinion personally, this doesn't really correlate that much. But he was showing that a potential that could happen with the crypto market to the S&P 500. So he shows some examples of collapses that have happened before, and then shows our current collapse that would happen, and then this really stagnant long period of not very much going on. And then now he thinks that this correction fallen recently, so maybe we'll have this pump again. I don't really know. It's really highly speculative. No one can tell you the truth about this stuff, really. So don't let that bother you too much. Now, Binance's DEX is coming out today. So if you used APIs, you may have noticed last night that your API stopped working. That's because they have, obviously, as you can see in the picture, API integration. And they probably had to upgrade their APIs for that. What's up, Jean-Louis? How you doing? Lecker Gespalpin. I don't know what that means, but good morning. Now, create, unlock, and transfer assets directly on the DEX. Give it a shot. I know it's not technically, and you know, many people will agree with me here that it's not technically 100% a decentralized DEX, but it does have some cool features. Do check it out. You know, give us your thoughts on what you think about. Today, I'm also going to show you exchange that is wash trading another token called Unification, which I am looking at a lot lately because it's got a really low market cap, and also talk about Bolt and BitMax as well today. So let's just look at all those things. So moving on, let's open up well, where did I go? I went disappearing here, but let's where did Joel go? Anyways, doesn't really matter. Let's talk about Disney's talks to acquire the BTC and a crypto exchange owner. So this is kind of interesting. I'm sure all you probably feel the same way. Like, how is that even possible? I personally am like, wow, this is really cool. Why do you think that? I'll tell you why. Disney getting involved it's mass adoption 101, right? So let's just go through what they're talking about. So they reportedly have been offered controlling stake in NXC, the parent company of South Korean game publisher Nexion, which specializes in online PC and mobiles. So this is a really big thing because they own two crypto exchanges, one being Bitstamp, the other being Corbit. So two exchanges. Bitstamp is the world's longest running Bitcoin exchange, so that's not a small thing. And it's something that really could help because with Disney, you see millions and millions, potentially a billion people looking at Disney movies and whatever Disney is doing. We have this new, competitor to Netflix. There's a lot of really cool things that they're doing, and now they're looking at investing in cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin. So this is really interesting stuff. Now, moving on, we have Ledger saying that they're going to beat Bakkt to physical Bitcoin futures launch, which is huge because Bakkt keeps saying like, oh, we're almost there and stuff, but they haven't really proven anything yet. Now Ledger X is saying we're actually going to beat you there. So the first US firm that they're saying they're going to be first one to offer physically backed Bitcoin future contracts. Maybe they're the ones who bought that $100 million of Bitcoin. It would make a lot of sense if they're trying to beat them to their punch. So this is also something you should take in consideration. Any questions, guys? Remember, if you're watching right now, do ask as we go. I will be looking at the chat anytime, and do click the subscribe button. Just click on that little guy and like the like button, and hit the bell if you like the content as well. So we'll be able to, they're going to try and deliver to institutionals first, but there'll be other people that they also deliver to. So it's really interesting. Omni's built on Ledger X's existing infrastructure. So they're going to act as a provider for their cryptocurrency and trading services, and it could be really big. Now, will they actually beat Bakkt? Don't know. We don't really know exactly where Bakkt is, but they have a regulatory roadmap, which is saying right here where the CTFC could not comment, but that they've applied for physically backed Bitcoin futures. And there'll be more and more about that. So you can read this. I'll throw it in the bottom of the video in the description, all the little links here, so you can check out these and read them in detail later. But that's the gist of it. They're trying to be backed. They have applied. There are really cool things that are happening. And I'm going to show this one first. I'm just going to show this. So yesterday, you may have seen this tweet by Cryptoopolis saying that BTC is now being traded on Nasdaq, which is massive. He said that he bought 1 BTCs through his TD Ameritrade account, and as we know, TD Ameritrade did actually have this. It says according to the chart, it started on April 10th, but when he found out and looked deeper, he actually found out that it was paper trading. But this tells you something telling, very big telling. It's saying that we have Nasdaq, being one of the biggest world's exchanges for stocks, have started testing with paper trading Bitcoin. And buying and selling on their exchange. So this could be huge for adoption, because if anyone can go on their normal TD Ameritrade account, which is what TD Ameritrade was trying to do with Eris anyways, and Bakkt and all these other guys, and Ledger X now, if they make it that easy to go and buy Bitcoin, do you not see the potential and adoption that will happen? Because it makes it easier. Remember, people had a problem with Bitcoin in 2017 because A, they couldn't sign up to exchanges fast enough. B, the other problem that they had was, yes, we can't sign up to exchange, but they don't know how to even do anything. How do I get a wallet? What does the wallet do? How do I transfer the funds? I'm scared if I transfer $10,000. I don't know where it will go. It takes 20 minutes. I don't know what's going to happen. Now you have on a Nasdaq. So on the Nasdaq, you know that you're safe. You have security. You know, if you do something wrong, it probably can be reversed. You have some insurance, right? Whereas before, you didn't really have that unless you educated yourself. And this is what crypto needs. It needs adoption, and adoption comes with ease, right? Make it easier for me to do, make it cheaper for me to do, make it something that does more for me than anything else right now, you know, gives me more value. So this is what Bitcoin does for us. And there are some projects that I'm in tune with that you guys probably have never heard of, because there's just mostly friends and family group right now. But there's a protocol coming out that will actually let you use your Bitcoin or USDT or whatever that you'd like to pay your bills automated. So you know, the problem with Bitcoin is like, I can't just put my credit card and like it bill me every month if I want to do a service. This is coming. This is big. This replaces PayPal, because why do you need PayPal anymore? Think about that. That's huge. So it's starting to be paper traded. It already is, as I told you guys, with one of the companies I'm working with, it already is being traded on the Jamaican Stock Exchange. The Barbados Stock Exchange is going into trial, and there's many other stock exchanges like the Gibraltar Stock Exchange that are also coming in to play with also soon digital assets like STOs, like art, wine, etc. that will be tokenized. This is big. And now it's not going to happen overnight, but the fact that these foundations are being built means that these things are going to actually push forward. Now, another really important thing is Vitalik proposed higher staking rewards for upcoming ETH proof of stake algorithm. So basically, ETH knows that they're kind of in trouble. We have Binance Chain. Even though Binance Chain is different, they could potentially build the same thing or better stuff that ETH does, because they've already built it. Now, you know, even CZ himself said that they're not trying to kill ETH. But you also have EOS. You have Tron, which 95% of the people on Reddit are now saying is a scam. I mean, I did say that, like, I don't know, 2 months ago, that I heard some stuff and then I saw some stuff and I thought it was a scam myself. Justin Sun's just really good at marketing, and now unless we see some movement in Tron, a lot of people are going to continue to say that it's a scam, and no surprise by me at all there. So the thing about ETH is, if they give reasons for people to continue to mine it and it's profitable, they'll continue to mine it. There'll be people, you know, there'll be stakers on the network. People will get more funds to hold ETH, and that should keep it a little bit more stable than it is right now. So we'll have to wait and see what that actually gets to in the future, but it's something that's really cool, and giving more back to people will help this immensely. So what he proposes is if you held $1 million of ETH and staked it, you get about 18.1% return. So that's a pretty good amount. I mean, your stock market doesn't even give you that. So the problem is $1 million of ETH at the top now versus now is a lot different. So 18% would have mattered. So there is volatility in there, and you have to take that in consideration. But if we go into a bull market, 18% a year now, at the start of this year to the end, could be huge. Oh, Illy, nice to see you over here. If anyone else watching, do just comment and say, hey, what's up? How you doing? And remember, ask questions. This is your floor. I do live feeds so that people can ask whatever they want, whenever they want, okay? And if you're missing the live feeds, you should see me on Tuesdays and Thursdays from now on. So don't forget that, and don't forget to slap on that bell button so you don't miss it. So moving on, let's get into a little bit of TA. So Unification is an ICO that came out. It traded around 5 cents. It's just down a little bit right now. We're seeing some really interesting stuff on Bitforex right here. We're seeing there's a huge fight between the bulls and the bears. There's these long wicks up and down, up and down. It keeps coming back down to this 2,400 support. It comes down to the 25,000 support, and it's sitting right now around 26,000 support. Now it's trying to get back towards there. This resistance around 31,600. Not it's ETH, so it's not Satoshis, but we're gonna have to wait and see where that goes. And it's really hard to call TA on something so new because there's really not enough data. But I want to tell you guys something about Unification. Their market cap's only 1.5 million. They didn't raise a lot of money. So even though it looks not that great on here, if someone pumped in 300 ETH, it would go above this resistance up here, all the way probably into this zone around 40,000. So it could jump very easily with a low market cap. And low market cap coins like Bolt, which is another one I'm going to show you, are ones that you keep your eye on, because if they have good use case, which Unification does, and if you haven't seen the video, go back and watch my interview with Nima Jahan, the CEO of Unification, and you can learn a little bit about it. Their staking rewards for the first year are going to be beautiful for anyone that mines, or stakes, sorry. So let's go and look at something very interesting here. Let's look at BitMax. Okay, so BitMax token, they announced that they're doing IEOs, but this is not why I'm actually showing you this. I want to show you how scammy this exchange actually is, okay? There is some really, really shady stuff about these guys. And I don't say it, if you're buying in the regular exchange, you're fine. You're buying on margin on this exchange, forget about it. I'm telling you right now, if you buy on margin on BitMax, you are risking yourself getting abso-freaking-lutely wrecked, especially on this exchange. And I'm going to show you why right now. I'm going to show you two different things right now. The first thing is, if you look at this order book right here, $50, $50, $50. Look at the price. Look at how much they're buying, 50. So here's just two. There was three there for a second, right? We go on this side, the order book. Look, $50 at 6.916. $60 at 6 point. It's just a little different, right? But you see these numbers like 100. We're buying 108, 108, 108. You see these numbers? This is spoofing. This is market making in its finest. And the thing is, on this exchange, you actually can physically see it. 50, here's the two right there. We have 108 right here at 15, 108 at 15. You see that there is a lot of wash trading on this exchange. It's something I noticed very, very clearly, and I have several examples of this on this exchange. So it's okay to trade on the exchange, but the second you go to margin, remember, an exchange that has their own tokens can wreck you easily by just selling all their own tokens and rebuying them back. I'm going to give you an example of that just on BitMax itself. Here, BitMax, right? People are going long, right? So here, maybe you're like, okay, whatever, that's normal. Watch this though. Here, there's no reason really for it to dump, but people probably went long thinking, okay, it's found support, right? Then it dumped, and look at the number it dumped. About 40%. All the longs, because they have 3, they have 5, and they have 10x, all would get wrecked there and lose everything, unless they had a market stop loss. Here again, it's looking like it found support. It made a dump, but then it dumps again 40% or so. Okay, and then here it doesn't look so bad. It might be finding support, and again dumps 20%. And here again it starts to climb, and then people might be going long. And this is the thing, you have to think people probably are going long here. There's another 20%, so all the 5 and 10x's are wrecked. Now here's something telling. We see it grow and grow and grow and grow, and this is on the 6 hour. Let's look on the 1 hour, so it really, or in the 30 minutes, to put it in perspective of how much this is like wrong. Okay, so look, all of a sudden it dumps. That's fine. It climbs up, then it dumps 19%. Then it dumps over here after a nice long gain. It dumps in minutes 30% exactly. So all the longs get wrecked, right? This is something you have to pay attention to. Now we can go and we can look at Bolt. Bolt's been on a freaking tear. I posted something in a couple of the groups a while back, but also look at Bolt right here. You set a long because it's being bullish, 10%. So all those people that put a long in at 10x would get wrecked. Every single time those wicks went down, you would have got wrecked on the margin trading, right? And it's something that you have to be very cognizant about. But when I was looking at Bolt the other day and I posted about it, it was around 1.5, 1.6 cents. It was right around here where I saw it start to reverse, that I told people about it, posted it in the groups. Now, Bolt is now up in the last 17 days over 100%. Bolt is a really cool token. You should totally take a look at it, guys. It's something very interesting. But remember, BitMax does this and drops it 20% at a time. So my real big caution for all of you is do not, and I repeat, do not use margin trading on this platform. You will very likely get wrecked. I'm telling you that because I care about you all. Now, last but not least, Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin followed a lot of the stuff that I was thinking was going to happen, almost like I'm even shocked, because I drew this on April 3rd, thought it was going to come up and come down and then go back up, and it pretty much did that, but took a little longer, which is fine. TA never has a perfect time frame. But what's really interesting about Bitcoin is it just shot through this resistance right here at 54.50, and now it's sitting around 5,500. It made it to 5,500, and it really doesn't look like it's going to slow down. It's still in this channel, so it might hit the top of the channel and come back down the bottom of the channel, but it's kind of sitting nice and supporting. It's even kind of doing this more if you really look at it. It's doing more of a touch in the bottom of the channel. That's something you have to be careful of until it did this today, and if it touches the top, we're good. But when it touches the bottom of a channel, a lot of times you have to kind of be careful. But when it shoots up like that, you don't have to really stress as much. So if we go into a tighter time frame, we can also see that it's been touching the bottom of the channel a lot more than the top. But if we move this back again, which we can, which where I had it before, it's still all good. Even if we move it here and we kind of tighten it a bit, it still looks fine. But here's a point. It's staying in this channel, and this is good. It's going to keep going up. And if it breaks through this, the top of this channel, oh my goodness, it could keep going up to 6K. So keep your eyes on Bitcoin. Now, what we learned last time with Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash does very similar things. So we can see with Bitcoin Cash here that, let me just zoom out a little bit. You can see with Bitcoin Cash, wow, I gotta, hold on a sec. With Bitcoin Cash, we can see, let me just zoom this in a little and then go back, that it follows Bitcoin really nicely. But here's what you must also see is there is a beautiful, massive bull flag, okay? And it's really interesting. It might be a wedge, it might be a bull flag, depending on how you look at it, but it's hitting the top, it's hitting the bottom. It's hitting the top, it's hitting the bottom. Now it's hitting the top yet again. Something to keep notice of, because usually when it goes down one more time, it will break through and go towards the, you know, where it was before, around $345. It still has some resistance around 317, 319. But lots of upward momentum. Now we can't draw any further because, as we know, Bitcoin Cash got forked, and so it's basically a wash. We could do one thing like this, where we do a Fibonacci trend. We could look at this as an example of where we're going. So we could see that potentially, 350 is not out of the question, then 415 and higher. But again, it's really hard to tell when we do not have any actual data. Now, Litecoin, also when Bitcoin goes, Litecoin goes. So these are things you have to look at. ETH, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Bitcoin generally go up together. And the other altcoins, as you see in my list here, start to dump. Okay, one thing to always look at, Bitcoin does have the dominance and will push it up or push it down the whole entire market. So as we see, Litecoin hit a very nice bottom around, I think it was around $22. Now it is at about 78. It hit $97, $98, which is absolutely wild for a few months and was the highest gainer out of those all. Just to give you an example of that, we can just show how much it gained at the top. So about 300% from the very bottom in December. Now, looking at Litecoin, we see that it's kind of gone, it's retraced a little bit. It's okay though. We see that it very likely will respect this $74, $75 resistance, support, and we could see it come back up, but Litecoin is looking like it's on the downtrend right now, so keep that in mind. But again, we also see it moving up with Bitcoin. Now, the really big shocker is Ethereum. Ethereum has started to go a little bit sideways, I guess you could call it, but it's respecting right now, just for right now, the 0.82 on Fib. So it does look like a kind of awkward pattern here. We could see it maybe closer on the 1 hour to check it out, but you can really notice that right here. If we just draw, we're kind of on this second here. We're on a nice trajectory and it's respecting that line. So we could see it move up even further, but it did have a nice little correction from the top. Hit that 50% retrace, as you can see, and hit it again. And so it respected that 50% retrace line, and most traders use that anyways. Now, EOS is one that I've been telling everyone to keep your eye on, and they're saying why. The big announcement is going to be huge. I know what it is, I can't tell you, but EOS has some really, really big fundamental news coming out when Daniel Larimer lets it go. And it's something that you should keep your mind and eyes on. It does look like it definitely could, touch this. Sorry, I think it's the 50%. It definitely can come down and touch the 382 on the Fib. We could also move this up a little bit as well if we want to, and look at a shorter time frame on the swing low here. And we see that it's respecting the 50% retrace on us on a lower time frame. So it's right at the 50% retrace. It did go a little bit lower and then came back up. Usually that's a good time to grab some, but again, it's not financial advice, just what I'm seeing in the market. And last but not least, BNB, before we go here. So BNB, it's been on a tear, as we all know, but it's kind of having this nice little retrace. It's at the 42,000 range right now. I do believe that it could come down even further. We'll have to just wait and see where it's going to go. And with BNB, it's really hard to tell whether, if it keeps going up, where will it go next. So it might bounce off the 786 and then continue on its next wave up. Especially with the DEX and all the fundamentals around BNB and all the stuff they're doing, it could very well happen. So these are all the coins that I'm looking at right now. So we're looking at Bitcoin Cash, ABC, BTC, Litecoin, Ethereum, EOS, and BNB. Those are my big ones that I'm looking at. Other ones that I've looked at for long term would be, Vibe, Mainframe, NAS, and ZRX, but I won't go over all of them because it will bore you. So that's it for today, guys. I'll see you soon. Do let me know, if you like this time slot, if it's too early, too late, let me know. I'm going to try and come on 11 a.m. my time, which I think is 12 or 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. in the United States, depending on where you are, Eastern Standard. So I'm going to start making this a very normal occurrence for everybody here. So do let me know what works for you guys, and I will see you later. Don't forget, guys, Coach K here. Click that subscribe, click the bell, click the like and the share button if you're watching on Facebook or on Twitter, retweet, etc. And we will see you again shortly, probably in the next couple of days. Have a great day, everyone. Happy Easter, everyone. And I will see you guys again on Thursday. Have a good one, everybody.